here we are in Duluth, Minnesota. I'm Katie Olson. I am a massage and yoga therapist, and I am here on this podcast as it's hatching, really, the creation of gathering people in natural modalities. So how to heal the body through itself. The innate wisdom of the human body is given to us at the beginning of our lives. And throughout our life, our body has this grand capacity of innately healing itself. As we're in historical times, we're all going through a lot on a micro level as an individual and as a macro level as a collective. And so I wanted to create this podcast and have special guests come in that have helped me tune into my wellness from the inside out. And so as I've collected all of these different experiences, I was thinking to myself, how can I make these on a broader medium or a broader spectrum of sharing? And a podcast came to the forefront, to fruition. So here we are. And throughout the weeks together, you'll learn different perspectives of being human, from the mind itself, the body as a wise vessel, always telling the honest to God truth. We'll hear about energy, we'll hear about spirit, we'll hear about food, word, communication, community, and all of these things add to the ability to sink into our own wellness. And when we're well, it is the greatest gift we can give, of course, to ourselves, but also to everyone around us. And so I'll start by saying a little bit about how I got here and how I'm so passionate about being well. I think it began when I was a little girl and always being reminded by my paternal grandmother that this is where you'll live your whole life, your body. And so when we sink into our body and allow love and acceptance, awareness to reside here as well, it's much easier to be a part of the world in the same degree. So throughout my life, I knew I had an innate gift of spirit, of knowing that this is much bigger than the physical realm, right? The physical, earthy realm. There's many different layers of existence in this world. And so throughout my time, I've gone through many experiences in my life. I've been able, through study, to travel around the world quite extensively. I went to university for Global Multicultural Studies and then went into field work in over 30 countries. So I always had an understanding and a love for how humans live, how they heal, how they be well, how they be in community, and seeing that effect throughout their whole life and how that affects their inner life as well. About 10 years ago, I had a traumatic brain injury. I was gardening and I hit my head on a cement statue. I knocked myself out for around 4 hours, I believe. I don't quite know. And then I came back to, and my life has never been the same since that moment. It's not better or worse. I'm not going to label it like that. It's just different. And I've also been able to experience thousands of hours of receiving therapy. So I received, I'd say, maybe 10,000 hours of therapy since that day. And a lot of it is due to my will to keep moving forth. My brain was in excruciating pain for, I'd say, about 9 years. So this is my first year without daily excruciating pain. And so this is literally my gift to you, but it's from me and my healing, and to be able to share all of these different resources so you can use them. And it is an honor that I get to be at this point to facilitate conversation, to facilitate an experience for you as a listener, to tune into the part of you that can use support. So we'll tap into how I became a massage and yoga therapist. The way I became the profession I am is through my head injury. And so I put myself through massage school and yoga therapy school to gain my body back, really, to gain connection from my brain to my feet, to feel my whole body again, as some of it kind of went offline for a long time. And so my main purpose was to send myself through to gain myself through this process. And now I get to be with people every day in studio. So I get to facilitate therapy and see the innate wisdom, the innate wellness that's in every single one of us. There's not a person that's been on my table or in a yoga therapy session that I haven't seen this innate wellness or this innate capacity to be well, to allow the truth of the body to sink in, allow the mind, body, spirit to create a partnership, a trifecta. And when these three balance, that's where we find a state of balance, of feeling in a state of homeostasis. And so sometimes I find myself sounding foreign in the sense of being a cheerleader for people to settle into their beings. And the reason I cheer people on in this work so much is because when someone settles into their body or into their whole being, that's where empowerment lies. And when a human feels empowered, that's where creation comes. That's where their divine purpose flows out. That's where big things shift and shimmy. And so I'm on here, and I'm going to continue to share all of these different modalities, I hope, for years to come. To share them in the sense so you don't have to continue seeking something that you could just listen to and take what you learn and make the choice for yourself to either welcome that modality or something similar to it. I want to go into befriending your body. Once I heard that your body is where you'll live your whole life. It is the longest relationship of your life. It is the longest conversation you'll ever have. There's no human that will be the exact same dash as you or me. And so the power lives in being your own buddy, being your own advocate of of a life you want to live. Sounds kind of intense, I know. And it can be intense. Allowing yourself to literally love the parts of you, the parts that are easy to love, right? Parts that are more challenging to love. The parts that have been on silent or not listened to as much. The parts that are louder and know they can be loved. All these different things allow us to love ourselves as a whole. For instance, I've always loved my heart. I have always understood I have a heart of gold. I understand that my eyes are a reflection of my soul. And I've always enjoyed the color of my eyes. And so these are two parts of me that I've come back to many, 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 many times. And when I'm feeling a bit, uneasy in my body, I'll literally go look at my eyes in the mirror and just check and say, hey, Kate, I see you. I love you. And that's always helped me. I also take the time to place a hand or both hands over my heart, and I listen to that beat. So that drummer that keeps drumming, of course, there's different rhythms, beats. Just take a moment to feel that heartbeat that continues on no matter. Take a moment to feel your breath breathing. You have 22,000 breaths every day. Whether we take advantage of the next one or not, it will breathe. Just noticing what it feels like to be here in your body right now. Mind may be already off on another idea or something going on. Just notice that too. Notice where it goes, where it pulls, what's it got to hook on. Just notice, no judgment. Bring it back to here and now. The thing about here and now is it's all we have. The present moment of life is all we have. And so I've always thought of it as if I teach myself how to live in the presence, then that is the greatest gift I can give, because then I live a life of presence, right? So I work very diligently on where am I, right? Am I here now? Am I living past? Am I living future? Am I in my brain, my mind, or am I in my whole body? Am I listening to my gut? Am I listening to my heart, to my breath, my pranayama? Do I feel my feet? Interesting. Knees, hips, intuition, diaphragm. Notice. So a lot of what I do is literally just taking a moment to notice what's going on. And this is a funny thing in a fast-paced society, right? So when people come in to receive and co-create therapy, there's a lot of pace, there's a lot of rush, a lot of, we got to get going. Come on, let's go. Why it's taking? And one of the first things I do is try and allow the body to settle where it is, right? So I allow breath to visit them, and they sometimes can sigh right? The relief of the pace to keep up with the fast-paced world or the fast-paced American life we live in. And then all of a sudden I get to see their body in session many a times go from sympathetic to parasympathetic, which is like a gear exchange in the nervous system. So it goes from like a stressed fight, flight, freeze into like a restoration, relaxation. And you can literally feel the body go, and so every day I get to observe the human body settle into itself. And we can do that in many ways, right? So this is going to be part of what we discuss on Here We Are. It's going to be about how similar we are to nature. Humans are a piece of nature. Isn't that amazing? We are going to learn how to help breath move things out, right? Bring fresh air in. Inhale in through the nose. Let's do it. Hold the breath at the top. And then let it go. Let it go however it goes. So sometimes it's a heavy breath out, a sigh out, and then hold it out at the bottom. Then start another one. Inhale in. Hold at the top. Let it go. As soon as you get to the bottom, hold. Inhale in. Hold it in your body. Exhale out. Hold the breath out. Swoop it in. Hold the breath in your body. Exhale, let it out. All the way out. Initiate your next inhalation. All the way up. Hold breath, air in your body. Out. Inhale in. Hold the breath in your body. Go. Notice your being after taking probably less than a minute to initiate breathing cycle. This works for every human being. As we all have breath, we all have prana. Allows the central nervous system to kind of soothe, to bring us to right here, right now. And breath is one of the greatest connectors to the presence, to the present moment, because it allows the air that's right here, right now, to come through our body and facilitate an exchange. So we bring something fresh, new in, and the body knows what to let go on exhale. And so what I'll focus on throughout our episodes is tapping into the wisdom of the whole body, of mind, body, spirit. And how, when we trust ourselves to live here, to know that this is our vessel for the rest of our life, and what choices we make on a daily can add up to how we feel in our body, the relationship to our body. And so it's always ebbing, flowing. We're never the same person, moment to moment. We're never the exact same organism, right? Just like we don't have the exact same 2 moments of life or 2 exact breaths. So that's what keeps me engaged, is the magic in the mundane, right? So the understanding of maybe I'll just take advantage of this breath. I'm never going to get it again. Or engage myself in this moment because no 2 are the same. And so it's small cues, right? So it's like little intricacies or subtleties that can keep us engaged in our own existence, in our own understanding of this body that we've been created to be. And the more I understand this, the more I understand stepping out into the world and serving the people becomes much easier because I am settled here. Right? Most days, I'm a human being, so not all days, trust me. But regulating my systems, regulating my mind, regulating my whole being of curiosity, compassion, sticking to curiosity, stepping out of judgment have been very magnificent parts in my healing journey. So when something's happening within me and external to me, I get curious. I say, what's happening there? Or, heart, what are you trying to tell me with that beat? Ooh, intuition. I hear you. I feel you. Okay. How do I gain trust? Or how do I practice trusting this body? And it's a practice. It's a practice I've heard from my elders till the end of time, right? So it's a practice till we go on to our next spiritual journey, however you look at that, after death. And so it's an ongoing process, this thing we call life. And the more I live, I'm only 36, almost 37, the more I understand to be able to press forth with my greatest dreams, my passions, and serve the people around me, my family, my friends, community. The more I love and understand here, the easier it is for me to love and set that free outside of me. So today, I just want to take the time to share these small yet mighty practices that I do in my daily life. Every day, I notice breath. I notice quality of thought. I notice intricacies in the body. And they're all here to tell us something, right? And the more we listen to the body and the more we get curious with it, the easier it all becomes. The trust, the advocacy, the love, handling yourself with care. We're going into a space that I feel like the new thing or the fad thing to do now is kind of slow down, to take care of yourself, to tend to your needs, to take the time to recognize what's happening and advocate for thyself. So here we are is a podcast. It's a gift to all of you as listeners, as humans, doing the best you can possibly do. And it will be little tips along the way, right? So I'll have many different practices coming in for interview, and one might ring really true to you or very, very you'll vibe with it. Others will be like, what in the world is going on here? And they'll teach too. So it's quite a team that I have lined up. I feel very, very blessed that all of these people have said yes. And they have all supported my journey as well. So we have a beautiful bond. So when I hit my head about 10 years ago, I had no idea where it'd guide me to. And now I can say I understand, right? I understand. I've been placed through quite an experience of a lifetime, made a comeback of a lifetime, and now I get to share it. I get to share it on a greater level to help other humans, right? And one doesn't have to have a head injury to need to go through intense healing or experiences, right? We're all made of the same elements. We're all made of the same makeups, the bones, the muscles, the nerves. Like a human is a human is a human in makeup, right? But each human has its own individualistic creation. And so how it goes is intricately and by the choice of you knowing your body best out of anybody in the world, because you live there, you get to make the choice of listening to your body, what it needs, and taking advocacy. So being able to take these steps is quite a big deal, I'd say, because it's not taught. We're not really taught this stuff is what I'm learning. But that's why I'm doing this, is I want to help like a movement of wellness. Like it's awesome and amazing to take care of your body because it's taking care of you, right? So the more respect and understanding we give to our body, the more that mirrors in our life. And so I'm wanting to light the candle for many, many people to feel well, to feel the quality of their life is high, right? It's a quality of life that you can be free to be yourself. You can feel cozy in your being, that you can love yourself. These are just a few of my wishes for this podcast. And I'm really excited to share this with you throughout time. So this is just a beginning, and I can tell it's going to go somewhere. The energy behind it, the excitement, the conversations, the understanding of the human family. And there's one friend of mine that said, Kate, you really got to go share this with people because not a lot of people think about the world like you. And I said, okay, yes, you're right. And something I want to touch on is I had the blessing, the great fortune of being able to travel extensively in external world. And so I've been able to see many, many, many ways of life. And then after I hit my head and I was unable to really be in the external world, I was a lot in the internal world, in rest, in rehabilitation and healing. Then I began to learn about the internal world. And so these two worlds, I've gotten pretty deep into both of them. And they're both very, very interesting. They're both like an abyss, right? So I still don't know, all of it, nor will I ever, right? But going out there and being a part of the macro is brilliant. And the micro body of being human is brilliant. It is so wise. I can't even there's no words to describe the wisdom of a human body. It's miraculous, I'd say. And so these two worlds, they, one's out of my eyes, and then the ancient yogis of India always say your third eye is for a reflection back in. And so working between these worlds is quite humbling. It's also quite inspiring. It keeps me curious every single day of my life. And the energy that exchanges through, right? The energy in my body and the energy external and around me. And how those two really vibe off of each other. And so those are the worlds I'll bring us into. I'll bring us into more of the wellness at first, and then I plan on bringing us more out into the world, into the understanding of the human family of 8 billion people. That's a big promise. Cut. That's hilarious. Can we cut the end of that? Yeah.
That's hard. Okay.
So, being that my life has been blessed, fortunate, I've created it to see the external world as I have. I've been able to see how many different people live life. I've been in very isolated parts of the world, in villages, in rural spaces. And for a long time, I would travel outside of myself. I would use it probably as a coping mechanism, I'd say, a coping mechanism, a healing mechanism of looking at the macro world. I was always interested from when I was a little girl, of how the people lived in India. How do those humans live in, say, Myanmar? How do people live throughout the continent of Africa? And so I've given myself permission to stay curious. I'm in my mid-30s and I'm still curious about this. So that's a huge gift, to be able to have a perspective of the world. And I want to share it with all of you. The other part of the world that I get to continue to study is our internal world. So I get to be mentored. I go to a lot of different educational classes to understand what's happening inside of a human, right? So I've studied every part quite extensively. And so these two worlds I get to work between on a daily basis. And who knew that my dream job would be such a thing? I didn't know this, but it's the coolest life I get to live. I am very, very blessed in the life I have been given and co-created. So I'm here to share over the course of time how these two worlds, how we can work within ourselves to move forth in the external world with grace and ease. So with that, go on and tend to yourself, tend to your needs, and handle yourself with care.